does have the blind spot detection system, and the indicators here on the side mirror. It illuminates here on the glass when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. And so you have the 2 presets for the power seat here on the driver's side. And then you have the power window switches, door locks, and then side mirrors can be adjusted there. It also has a power fold side mirror as well. Now the windows are one touch up and down here in the front, non-laminated glass. And then the windows here in the back are one touch down, and they go all the way down. And one touch up. And there are privacy glass in there as well. So yeah, basically the same styling. And then the driver's seat, it is powered, but it has more functionality. You're able to go up and down and tilt and all that stuff, tilt the back, and then a 2-way lumbar adjustment. So it one-ups the passenger in those respects. But yeah, pretty cool looking seats and comfortable and everything. And once again, we have a lot of orange there. Now to the left of the steering column, it has a couple buttons. Now, this button is to, of course, open up the power liftgate, but this button is to turn on a heater that's located underneath the windshield wipers up here. And so if they're frozen in place, you can press that button and it'll, heat them up and release them. So a real cold day, a lot of snow and sleet or whatever, ice, that comes in handy, like really handy. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column that you lock in place here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. To give you an idea of the potential leg room, I moved the seat all the way back and all the way down. And yeah, there's lots of room here. I would really have to pull it up just like a little bit to drive it. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, shouldn't have any problem here. So there's plenty of room here on the side of my legs here, especially here on the left side. So yeah, getting different comfortable positions is good. Then you have a flat floor, so there's not like any kind of variations that get in the way of different, seating positions. So yeah, really well done. Steering wheel, leather wrapped. So this is a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it has a stitching here on the inside that is the orange, and it doesn't stick out too much. It's kind of rounded off, so it feels good. It's comfortable. And the steering wheel has a good thickness. It's not super soft or anything, but it feels good. And then you have the TrailSport name there in orange. Now it has paddle shifters with the transmission, so if you need to up or down shift, you can do that, especially going down hills, you might need a downshift. Cruise control is here on the right side. I like the way everything is just really simple and high contrast. So it's a white lettering, black background, and there's not a huge amount of buttons here. So you can turn the cruise control on, you can cancel it, you can set going up and down, you can also go up for resume. You can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you here, and then you have the lane tracing assist system with this button here. Now you notice you have this little scroll wheel, and then you have a little scroll wheel on this side. We'll get to that in a minute because that corresponds to that screen. And you have the volume for the radio, change to the tracks, and that's it. You also have the voice recognition. Now this one has the Google Assistant system. I don't want to say the word too much, but basically to use your voice, and you can do a lot of stuff, especially finding things on the map and finding contacts in your phone, that kind of stuff. So the voice recognition is pretty well done. Front and rear wiper controls are here. Turn signals here, but it also has the headlight switch and an automatic function. Fog lights are controlled here. All right, so this is the gauge cluster, and basically what it is you have a dedicated engine coolant temperature here, and then a dedicated fuel gauge here. The inner portion is just basically a screen, and we can use these little scroll wheels here. So I can scroll up and down here on the left side and have different audio source choices. We can also customize the display. And let's say we'd never use, let's say we'd never use AM. We can uncheck that. Let's say we'd never use Apple CarPlay because we have an Android phone. We can uncheck that. Alexa, we can uncheck that. So now we don't have a cluttered system here. We can customize it to what we actually use. And so yeah, we can also go to display content, and we can have audio and clock, elevation and compass. So if we want that over here, we can have the elevation and compass. So it has some customizations here. You notice right in here is the tachometer, and then we have a little speedometer there as well. And then you have the digital speedometer, which is here. And you have some basic information like outside temperature, what gear you're in, the odometer, of course, and your trip and stuff is on this side. So let's use the scroll wheel on the right side. So you can see it has navigation capabilities here on the right side. All-wheel drive and torque. So this is the where the power is delivering, front or rear of the vehicle, and usually it's going to be front. But it does have the ability on some of the trims. I think it's the highest trim, the Elite TrailSport, where it has the torque vectoring, and it's able to deliver a tremendous amount, like 70% of the power to the rear wheels. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and you can keep an eye on where the power is going there. Now it also has a pitch and roll, so whether you're going up and down hill or left and right, you can keep an eye on that. There's certain scenarios, off-road scenarios especially, where you might not want to have too much of a roll, because you might actually start rolling. Status of the seat belts, then your maintenance will show up here, tire pressure, and then your safety support. You can go in here and select what you want to turn on or off. Right now they're all on. You can have no content here on the right side if you want that. You can also go in the brightness settings here, and you can use the scroll wheel and to adjust it. It adjusts this screen, but also the backlit buttons and the center screen as well. All right. So yeah, gauge display. We can set the units here, hide and show different things like the other side, and then you can change the gauge design. So we have right now the bar. We can go to, let's go here to round, so you can see what it looks like. So now it has a more traditional look. And then you have round and minimal. All right, which basically when the cruise control is active, will basically hide most everything, except for the basics. Bar minimal, same thing. Whereas when the cruise control is active, most of the things will be disappear, basically. That's not relevant. And then you have the minimal right here. So yeah, I kind of like the round. It kind of has a traditional look, and so we're utilizing this screen to have more functionality than just a traditional gauge cluster, basically. Now you notice in the middle we have this little car. So as you're driving and you engage, you turn on the cruise control, it's going to show, let me get back out of there. It's going to show, the lines, and if there's vehicles in front of you and stuff like that. It's going to get a little bit of additional information as you're driving. Or just sitting still, it's not going to show there. But, it has information about the vehicle. I don't know if you can tell, when I hit my foot on the brake, you can see that the brake lights turn on. So it is in real time, basically trying to, represent the vehicle in real time, basically. And as you're driving, you actually see lines turning and other vehicles and stuff like that. It's kind of neat. First time I saw that system was, the first iteration anyway, was in the Honda Civic Touring. We kind of had it a few years ago. So yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. All right, we already saw the start button here. So this touchscreen display, it's a little bit of glare on camera, but it's not actually, I don't see any glare to my eyes. It has an anti-glare to it, so it's just on the camera. But anyways, what it is, this is the home screen, and it basically has tiles similar to like your phone. So they're trying to make it more intuitive, more familiar, And so this is a Google-based system. It has Google Maps, it has Play Store, it has Google Assistant, it has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, Amazon Alexa. It has FM, AM, all that stuff as well. Bluetooth. This one doesn't have satellite radio though. So there's the different options here. Google News and stuff too. So yeah, let's go into the maps so you can see what it looks like. Alright, there we go. So yeah, now we have a Google Maps system here. It's very familiar. We're at East Coast Honda in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And we can do searches here, but we can also use our voice because it has the voice recognition, Apple CarPlay, and all that stuff as well. Let's see how far we can zoom out so we can see the whole Earth. we can get most of the earth here. But yeah, pretty cool. And we have, yeah, USB input. We have the trip computer, which can come in handy if we want to keep an eye on our, nothing's going to show up now. There's a new vehicle, it has like no miles, so nothing's going to be accurate, or you know, any kind of, like, we're not going to get any accurate information as far as that, as far as, you know, your actual user experience. You have this menu button here, which you can go in, and when you go to the apps, it's kind of funny. Let's see here, all apps. It's kind of funny that they're calling AM an app. You know, so it's basically just the different features of the vehicle. Now it does have actual apps like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, stuff like that. But yeah, it's in here. AM FM is in here as well. You can go in the vehicle settings. So yeah, this is all cool. You set it up the way you want it when you first get it, and then of course you can fine tune it. But yeah, trying to find the settings it's pretty straightforward, and it's kind of cool. It has a vehicle and it's actually the right color. So yeah, and it has this little screen over here that you can swipe through and to get different side information if you'd like it. Has a physical volume knob as well. They kind of tacked that on there. A lot of people appreciate that. And it has like a little kind of rubbery feel to it in a way. Has a little grip to it anyway. So 4-way flashers are here. I like that cloth. This is looking nice. So then down here we have the climate control. So it's a 3-stage heated seat. High, medium, low, and off. So the driver and passenger temperatures here. Fan speed is here. Where you want the air to blow. So that's the mode. Front and rear defrosters. Here and here. When you put the rear defroster on, it'll also turn on the heated side mirrors as well. You can access the rear climate by pressing that button. So you can see the rear's right there, and we can turn it on or off. We can change the rear settings. So there's 2 USB-C ports here. You notice this one has a battery. This is for charging only. This one is for accessing the system. So if you want to play it off of a device or whatever, you plug in here. If you just want to simply charge, you plug in here. This will also charge, but this is accessing the system as well. Then you have a 12-volt power supply here, 180 watts. This is a little tray that kind of goes in a little bit down. It's really for like change or something. It's not really for your cell phone or anything like that. It's basically just put small items there. And I like the way this little rubberized portion here is like a topographical map. It's the same thing with this compartment here. And there's a wireless charger that's rubberized and has these little side pieces here, so when you put your phone there, it's not going to slide around, stays put, and you can of course put stuff around it if you need to. And there's cup holders, and the bottom is just smooth plastic, so fairly easy to clean, I suppose. Here's the shifter, and I do appreciate this shifter. So it doesn't have like this knife switch shifter. It's a shift by wire anyway, most vehicles. So this one is just push button. So if you want to put it, like right now we're in park, if you want to put it in drive, you just press the button. Now we're in drive. And we want to put it in neutral, press neutral. If we want to put it in reverse, pull back on this. So now when we put it in reverse, 2 things will happen. The parking sensors will be active here. You can see them here and here, but also the backup camera. And the backup camera has different views, which are really handy on this vehicle. First of all, it has a rear cars traffic alert, which you can turn off if you need to, right there, or turn on. And then you have these different views for the camera. So you have this really wide view, which is excellent, and I'll show you why in a second. And then the secondary view, which is more linear, just directly behind the vehicle. And then this top-down view, like if you're backing up to a trailer hitch or something, you can see there. So this helps out for different uses. But this view, once you get used to that wide view, I wish the camera was located a little bit different place, but still, you're able to see both ways behind the vehicle. So if you're backing out of a parking spot and you can't see because there's vehicles next to you or some obstruction, you can actually use this camera and see both ways behind you. It's like a straight line that this way and this way. So it's actually looking both ways for you and giving you, kind of squeezing it in so you can all see it in one screen. So yeah, really, really handy when you're backing out of parking spaces and stuff. So I really appreciate that wide view. Once you get used to what you're actually seeing, it helps out a lot because you get that direct visibility from the bumper to the sky, all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So yeah, excellent. So putting in the park, just press this button, all done. If you want to engage the electronic parking brake, we pull up on this switch. It has a little status light, it engages the rear wheels. If we want to release it, hold the brake over here and then push down on the switch. You also have a brake hold feature which will hold the brake for you when you come to a complete stop until you hit the accelerator. The idle stop, you can turn that off here. Default will be on. That was a downhill descent. It's also uphill. It's a downhill or uphill, but this is actually for off-road use only. So it's basically keeping you at a steady pace while maintaining traction at a slow speed. So you can engage that. Now here's the drive modes. So I'm going to go ahead and cycle through. So we have a sport mode, normal, econ, snow, trail, sand, and tow mode. So yeah, these are like if you're going on a trail, it's gonna you're basically like loose dirt and stuff like that. It's telling the all-wheel drive system to allow a little bit of slippage and stuff like that, and you're able to navigate the ground a little bit better. So you notice it reduces a little indicator there. Says the traction control system is a little bit reduced. It's not as much as the on-road stuff. So yeah, normal mode is fine for most, for almost all the time, except for when you're very limited situations, like you're going off road or whatever. You're just telling the all-wheel drive system. You're just telling the system the environment you're driving on, so that way it can be better prepared and handle it better. And so yeah, it's well done as far as the all-wheel drive, just simplicity, like there's no special things. It tells you precisely what terrain. If you just tell the vehicle what terrain you're on, you're good. It'll handle it. So this armrest is pretty big. You might be able to share it with the passenger if you're generous. And it's nice and soft too, really soft. And it has the combination of synthetic leather stitching and then the cloth here on the sides. Looks really good. And it has a little lever here, and it's spring loaded, so it'll lift up. It's not going to slap back down on you. And it goes up to right there. And then you have this storage compartment, and it basically just has a rubber mat at the bottom, and then a little quick access place to put you can put like coins or pins or tire gauge, whatever you want there. And it's a hard plastic here on the side, so it's easy to wipe out and keep clean. That rubber mat can also come out, so you can take it out, see if there's any kind of Easter eggs underneath. Nope. But yeah, you can take it out, clean it, put it back in, that kind of stuff. Got my business card in the way. So yeah, there's no like dedicated place for wires to go in and out of this compartment because there's no connectivity or anything. The rearview mirror is an auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming right now because I have the shade over the light sensor, and the light sensor is on this side back here. So up here we have interior lights, so the tap lights here and here. We can turn on all the interior lights here, have them all off here, or if you want them to turn on when you open the door, you have it in the center position. Now you notice these little lights right here. Now these are like little ambient lights. They shine down in this area, and it was super dark at nighttime. It helps you kind of get your bearings and give you a little bit of kind of moonlight right in here. And they're orange in color on this particular vehicle. So this here is a roadside assistance, and then you have a button for the sunroof, and then you have a separate button for the shade for the sunroof. I'll show you that in a second. Now right here is a place to put sunglasses or whatever, and it's kind of like a foam material in there. And so yeah, and it's only on the back, but right here it's like a smooth plastic. Got my business card in there, so you can see in there a little bit better. That's the thing. Sometimes I'll put my business card in places where it's just like looks like a dark abyss, to have something for the camera to look in there and see, and also to focus on. So yeah, so now that I put that in there, you can see in this compartment a little bit better than earlier. So the sun visor is a black cloth. It's the same material as the headliner here. Sometimes vehicles have like a vinyl separate. So this one's the same cloth material. It has a mirror with a light. Has a little clip on this other side. It also extends out. Gives you good coverage there. Okay, so this sunroof, you notice it has a shade, and it's a panoramic sunroof. It goes way back here. So you have the shade that covers 100% of the light, so it's a soft shade here. And then let's go ahead and use the shade button, move it back. And this back glass is fixed and the front portion can move. So let's go ahead and use this other button here. And let's go ahead and push up on it. We can vent it. We can also pull back on it and slide it back. It slides under the rear glass. Pull back again, goes a little bit further back. Looking at the visibility here in the back, it does have these pillars right here. It's kind of wide pillars right there, but you notice there's a big window right in the middle of them. So, you know, it's something to get used to, but really probably not going to be a big deal considering you have the parking sensors, the blind spot detection system, a really good camera, a backup camera, and, you know, there's a lot of technology to help you overcome any blind spots you might have. So like all vehicles are going to have certain blind spots. So this one helps you overcome that and drive the vehicle safely and really stress-free with the technology that it has. So yeah, not really a big deal. I mean, you can see, it depends on the passengers you have and all that stuff. Because you're right there, a passenger with a huge afro or something can block that window. So yeah, it's not really a big deal. Like I said, it's the camera system and the parking sensors help out a lot with that. And of course, rear cross traffic alert. But for me, it's the backup camera that having that wide view. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you to East Coast Honda here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'll have their contact information in the description. They are like the #1 Honda dealer in South Carolina, and love visiting here because the people, the management, everything from top to bottom it's just a pleasure to visit this dealership. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.